What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Wrath of the Lich King Classic video. It's been quite some time since the last one. We have been focusing a lot on hardcore classic WoW videos for Classic era, and to be honest we will keep up focusing on that a little bit, because the fact is I'm having so much fun playing hardcore. But I wanted to take some time today and talk about gold making in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and how I personally play Classic WoW for free. This video will be based on gold making and gold farming in order to earn enough gold to get at least one WoW token per month, and you can then scale these strategies to make even more. Now I already know some of you might say, just go to work and buy the token lol, in which case, this video is not meant for you. This video is meant for those of you who can find enjoyment in making gold in the game, and also being able to turn that enjoyment into being able to play for free, to save yourself some money. The fact is, for me personally, and for a lot of you guys as well, playing video games is an escape from reality. So for me, the argument of just to go to work directly goes against why I play video games to begin with. Now some people find their enjoyment in raiding, some find enjoyment in PvPing. I personally find enjoyment in a little bit of everything, including farming gold and making gold. I like seeing numbers go up. So with that said, today I will be showing you guys how I am personally making gold in Wrath Classic in order to make enough gold to buy a WoW token. I will divide this into several different categories to fit as many different people as possible, because the truth is, I do a lot of different things. Some days I play a lot of hardcore classic WoW and just log on to Wrath once to set up some auctions, while some days I might farm for 10 hours straight on Wrath. I also want to say that if you want access to even more gold making information, including early access and exclusive information, I do have a Wrath of the Lich King Classic Gold Guide, which you can find a link to in the video description, and by purchasing this guide you also get access to a private gold making community with people who have made hundreds of thousands of gold in Wrath. So let's get into it. First up, gold farming. For gold farming, there are mainly 3 different types of farms that I personally do. Let's cover them one by one. Number 1, steady Wrath material farms, where you farm for materials found in Northrend. Now for me personally, this is either mining, herbalism or skinning farms. I have a couple of routes that I personally use, which go up and down in terms of gold per hour based on when you do them. Herbalism, for example, goes up in gold per hour a little bit when Darkmoon Fair comes around, and mining goes up when a new patch comes out, due to people needing more materials to craft items and also needing new gems. Even herbalism materials rise a little bit in price when new content comes out due to the usage of flasks and potions. On the screen right now you will see some of my favourite Wrath of the Lich King Classic material farming locations, including herbalism and mining routes, and also herbalism and mining high density semi-hyperspawn locations, meaning places where you can stand in one place and wait for materials to spawn, and due to how dynamic respawning works, they will spawn more often than you think, because of the spawn location density. We also have a couple of skinning farms where I personally try to combine skinning with farming meat, that way you can increase the gold per hour, and you also have some eternal fire farms. This should give you at least a couple of examples of where to farm if you want steady gold. Number 2 is dungeon farms. For me personally, this is usually TBC dungeon farms if I'm looking for steady gold, usually mana tombs if I bring mining to get those mining nodes and gems from the second boss, or the third boss, second boss, you get the point, the bigger earth guy, or vanilla dungeons for transmog items for Cataclysm. TBC dungeons are extremely profitable, especially if you have enchanting, because TBC enchanting materials are actually quite expensive and sell incredibly well, in which case every green or blue item you get while doing these dungeons you can get even more gold from, while also looting raw gold and trash items which you can vendor for more raw gold. It's a pretty steady gold farm, giving you a mix of raw gold and auctionable materials. You also have vanilla WoW dungeons, which I have featured in some specific videos in the past, but these are 100% based on transmog items. Maybe not 100%, but they're very much based on transmog, and they can either give you 50 gold per hour or over 50,000 gold per hour, heavily influenced by RNG. Now from my own personal experience, I average about 800 gold per hour from many of these vanilla dungeons, but the items you're farming for does take a lot of time to sell, so it's not a farming style to go for if you want gold quick. You also have once per day type of farms. Now for me personally, this is mainly 4 different pets that I farm for from old vanilla zones, which are shown right here. These pets sell incredibly well, and I usually sell at least 2 of these pets every single week for between 200 and 700 gold per piece. The price will be different from server to server, and this is the perfect type of farm for those of you who don't have time to play for several hours every single day, but you still want to make some gold, and even better if you have some alts that you can place in the locations where you want to log in. For example, for the farms shown on the screen, I have one separate alt permanently at each location, so checking all 4 pets takes me about 4 minutes, and it can result in up to 2000 gold if all of them are available. Next up, the auction house. For this part of the video, there are 2 types of strategies that I wanted to highlight: short-term flips and long-term flips. Let's start with short-term flips. This is where you buy a certain item or several items in the hopes of a quick turnover. This is perfect if you're into flipping, as it's called, where for example if there are 1000 ruby and chitin listed for 1 gold each, then suddenly they jump up to 1.7 gold each. You can spend 1000 gold buying all the 1 gold ones and repost them for 1.69 gold, turning your 1000 gold into 1670 gold, minus the auction house cut. Teaching you how to do this is extremely difficult, as it requires you to personally understand how the auction house works on your server, and you need to understand the customers on your server and how much gold they are willing to spend. It also requires knowledge of timing, so for example, some items are easier to flip on the weekends, some are easier to flip when Joyous Journeys is active, and some are easier to flip when a new content phase comes out. You just have to test the waters and learn from your mistakes, but once you understand how flipping works, you can pretty much start making roughly 10 to 25% profit every single day from your initial gold, which means at the start you could turn 1000 gold into 1250 gold, which might not sound like much. After all, it's only 250 gold, but this method is incredibly scalable. Doing the same with 100,000 gold, you suddenly made 25,000 gold in one day. But as you scale up, you also need to diversify your flips into many different items, so it can get complicated. The other auction house strategy is one that I have personally used to make hundreds of thousands of gold, and it's called investments, or also known as long-term investments or long-term flips. This is where you buy something now, hoping it will go up in price several months down the line. This is very good if you have already accrued a lot of game time already and want to set yourself up for more success to be able to buy more WoW tokens later down the line. But it has one big risk in this regard. You need to make sure that the profits of your investments outweigh the inflation of the WoW token price as we continue into Wrath and potentially move into Cataclysm. For example, let's say the WoW token is 5k gold right now, and you spend 5k gold on a Phase 5 Wrath investment. But when Phase 5 of Wrath comes out, suddenly the WoW token is now 8000 gold. If your investments turns out to be worth more than 8000 gold, you just made profit if you think about it in terms of the WoW token value. But thankfully, most investments more than double in price, so you should be pretty safe here. One incredibly good thing about Classic WoW is that we, for the most part, know exactly what's coming later down the line, so we can make long-term investments with the knowledge of what's coming, giving us a massive indicator on which items will go up in price based on that upcoming demand. On the screen right now, you can see some of my investments for Phase 3 of Wrath Classic, which is coming very soon, and these have been public for quite some time, so they might end up not being incredibly profitable anymore, but you can get early access to future investments by checking out my WOTLK Gold Guide, or wait for my Phase 4 investments video, which will come out as we get closer to Phase 4. Now, for the purpose of making this video a one-stop shop for gold making in Wrath, I will also link to a bunch of my useful Wrath gold making videos in the video description if you want more gold making information. Either way, that's pretty much what I have for you today. Just wanted to stop by and talk about how to use gold making and gold farming in how to use gold making and gold farming in order to play the game for free, because that is essentially what I am doing myself, and as I think making gold is fun, It's a win-win for me. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe on your way out, and let me know how you are making gold in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.